I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite
podcast
on the Citadel.
Welcome! You are listening/watching Andromenerds, the #1 podcast on the internet in very specific categories. My name is Minius of Minius GC, and with me are my co-hosts, Tucker from Mass Effect Follower.
Hello, everyone.
We gotta zest that up a little bit.
Well, I could go back to my nickname if you want.
Yeah, okay, that's too much zest.
Too much
zest.
Too zesty.
Somewhere in between that and, whatever. Hello, I'm Tucker.
If you talk for like a good 5 seconds, it's a good thing for me to do that little like color glow thing on your name. So
if you wanted zesty, we could have like a kicking in door noise, and I'd be like, "What's up, bitches?"
Because like the last time it was like literally like, "Hi, I'm Tucker," and then it's like glow, unglow. Like, super fast.
That other voice you hear is the one and only BioFan.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Andromenerds posts every week, Thursdays at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. in the UK, and many other times in many other places because the world is round. If you'd like to be a part of the show with questions or topic suggestions, email us at Andromenerds or hit us up in any number of ways because there are links everywhere in these videos.
Are we doing the mail at the beginning now? Or
no, I just figured that people would want to, email while they're listening.
Oh,
so
okay.
they can know right away that you can email us at andromenerds@gmail.com.
Yeah, and remember that emailing us at andromenerds@gmail.com enters you in a chance to win Mass Effect Andromeda this month.
Ooh. So what do you have to do to win Mass Effect Andromeda from Mass Effect Follower?
Well, basically, I came up with an idea of, because, whenever people do giveaways, it's the same thing each month. I kind of wanted to spice it up and I want to make it zesty, of a different thing each month. And for this month, you ask us a question. As we go through at the end of the month, all three of us, we're going to kind of come together and be like, okay, what was our favorite question that was given? And then we'll select the winner from there.
Okay.
So favorite is somewhat subjective, but probably the question that generates the most. Yeah.
It's basically going to be, what question did we have the most fun discussing about? Like, brought on some great ideas or was a great conversation.
So you have your objective, andromenerds@gmail.com.
Yeah, and then I've had previous ones of like, what's your favorite quote or some fan art, or following us on Twitter. I try to have different things each month. So,
alrighty.
Don't steal my haiku idea, because then I'm going to be mad at you.
Okay, I won't do a haiku.
I had haikus on my other one. That was fun. Anyway, let's start the show with this week's main topic, which is squadmates. Squadmates in BioWare games, really big deal. Really, really big deal.
Pretty significant part of the game. Yeah.
Spoilers, Mass Effect Andromeda has squadmates. Yeah, sorry for all of you who were didn't want to know anything going into Mass Effect Andromeda.
Why are they listening to this?
I do not know why you're watching our channels, but okay.
Why are you here? Right. That was exactly the same time. That was so freaky.
See it.
So first of all, what do we know about squadmates so far? There are a couple little things that are all from that huge Reddit lake. The first one...
Well, there's some additional stuff, too, beyond the Reddit
lots
lake.
of stuff to go over, yeah. 7 squadmates, it looks like.
Did they confirm the number?
They confirmed nothing.
They confirmed
nothing is confirmed.
There is one thing confirmed.
What's confirmed?
There are humans and non-humans on our squad, though that's kind of a no-brainer.
Oh, wow. Wow, that's earth-shattering.
How would you feel if it was all humans? I would be really disappointed if it was no, you have all
They would
humans.
have to be really interesting humans.
I don't think it mattered how interesting those humans are. They could be the 7 best human characters of all time and people would still be mad.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm talking about me. I'd be okay so long as they were the 7 most interesting human characters of all time.
Make for a great game, really.
That would be, yeah.
All right, so we have the names of 2 of those characters. One who is named Drac. He's a Krogan.
supposedly.
We probably saw him in the most recent trailer next to a woman in full armor who might be Korra, who might be Asari or human. That's all we know, though.
Now, do you think Korra is that Asari that we saw with the face paint?
I think it could be, but I feel like in the survey leak they were quick to tell you that Drac was a Krogan. But also keep in mind this whole survey leak was really early in the development stage, so a lot of things could be different now. But they were quick to tell you Drac was a Krogan. So I'm thinking either Korra is human or Korra's race was kind of up in the air at that point.
Maybe a new species?
I think it's 50-50 human Asari.
Yeah, I think it's 50-50. It's either human or Asari in my mind. But
I'm leaning human, although I don't really have any good evidence for that. Asari names are longer, right? I mean, they end with A frequently, but they're generally longer. Multiple syllables.
Well, this Asari has really prominent eyebrows, so maybe she just does her own thing.
She's a rebel.
So she lost a syllable in her name due to her eyebrows?
Maybe her name is like Korra la 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 blah, but like
What?
she shortens it to Korra.
I mean, that does end in an A.
Samara, Liara, Benezia.
Okay, excuse me. Korra ba la 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 ah.
So those are all
Ends in
like
an A.
3 or 4 syllables but who knows? Whatever.
I
We're
was
not sure.
filling in blank space. Okay, fine.
Anyone feel strongly about that? There's some people who feel strongly on my channel. Korra is a Asari name. It's a guarantee.
Korra is just a feminine name in general, so it fits either a human woman or an Asari woman. Why did I say Asari woman? They're all women. Anyway.
The name literally means lady or woman or something like that. That's what it literally means in some language. I'll have to go check that up. I came in here well prepared.
It means heart or maiden.
Maiden. That's what I'm thinking of.
Or heart, but I'm thinking maiden's probably
Interesting.
more related.
Anyway, even if Korra is a human woman or an Asari, we're probably pretty sure that 3 characters of the squadmate variety are known. You have Drac the Krogan.
Hold on.
Way to bring the podcast to a screeching halt.
See, I'm just thinking that, how they all the names end in A, but Asari ends in I.
Well, they're the Asari, like...
Yeah, I you know what? I did not even think of that. That's weird.
That's weird. I don't know. But okay, so
That's
the thing that I was like, hey, hold on, is I found something cool. So Korra is another name for the Greek goddess Persephone, who was the daughter of Zeus, and Persephone is the goddess of spring. I don't know if that will lead to anything.
So you're saying that our squad might be a mattress spring.
Like the season, Tucker. The season.
Oh.
The season, Tucker.
I know.
Something's
I know.
damaging you.
I know mythology and history and stuff. I'll just mess with you.
But she's known as like a beautiful maiden thing, which kind of could go with Asari,
See, now I'm just thinking about a mattress being a squad mate. How it could just cover itself.
I would totally approve of a biotic, superpowered mattress following us around and kicking some ass.
Remember, they got to have a jetpack too, so this mattress needs a jetpack.
That'd be cool.
This is the coolest mattress ever.
Okay, so we talked a bit about
Tempur-Pedic got nothing on that.
we talked last week on the show about what alien races from the Milky Way are coming to Andromeda, but let's shorten it up a little bit. We got what? Humans, Asari, Krogan. Which race would you most like to see on your squad? Pick one.
Out of the ones that we thought were going there, or out of
No,
all of them?
just this is you're creating Mass Effect Andromeda. You get to add a squad mate. You get to choose their race. Tucker, which race do you choose? And it's not racism. Not really.
I would love a race that we have yet to have as a squad mate, even though it might be kind of iffy, like maybe a Volus or something.
You can't steal mine. I was going to say Volus.
Oh. Well, to be fair, you did shout me out first, so...
I totally did, and it totally backfired. So you're not talking about like a brand new race, because I'm sure we can get into that in a little bit, but a race that we haven't seen.
I just want to mention something about you didn't mention a new race. And we've also gotten a lot of emails about this. People asking what we want as a new race, That's really difficult to kind of think of. Because we could say we want a rainbow-colored fly that's sentient and human size, but that's the chances of that being in the game are extremely slim.
Yeah, and now you have me totally shipping the rainbow human fly, Tucker. So getting my hopes up.
I thought we confirmed dolphin people last week.
Dolphin people are going to evolve on Earth when the Reapers killed all the humans.
I recently saw the South Park episode where Kyle's dad has a changed into a dolphin, and I'm just remembering what that looks like. That's horrifying.
Dolphin people, they will replace the humans after the humans are wiped out by Reapers.
Some new race. You mentioned Volus. And I mentioned Volus on one of my very, very first videos. I talked about how I wanted a Volus squad mate, and I was kind of joking, but not really, because I think that'd be great.
You know what I would love? Great. If it were a Volus, have a martial arts expert Volus. Think about little and walking around undercover, kind of unseen, everybody that's shooting at you is looking up for tall people, but the Volus is undercover, low, going through the bushes, crawling through the sand, and then hiya!
The Volus limbs are so short, though. I don't know how he's going to chop anything.
Imagine a Volus with Kasumi Shadow Strike animations.
Volus would need an awesome Omni Blade or something to pull that off.
Well, imagine it jumping and then just I don't know, kicking.
So I mentioned Volus because every single time a Volus showed up in the Mass Effect universe, I had a smile on my face, period. If not outright laughed out loud laughter. Every single time. So I can't picture having a Volus squad mate and not enjoying that completely.
Karate Volus. Make it happen, BioWare. Make it happen.
Kind of another one that would be interesting would have a Batarian, especially because how you're a human. So having a Batarian as a squad mate?
Yeah, but I think they'd really have to beef up the Batarian's personality, because every Batarian we've met so far has either been angry or kind of depressed.
I don't think that would be too hard to change that. There are a couple Batarians, they have 2 lines, so it's really hard to get much personality out of them. But you've got to expect some of them are there. I mean, generally Batarian and humans are they're adversaries, but they're mercenary groups where they work together a lot. So there's got to be some kind of connection there and some kind of dynamic that's interesting if the Batarians make it to Andromeda.
I would if we get a race from the Milky Way that was never on our squad, I would like it to be a race in a female form that we've never seen. So a female Batarian or a female Drell or
or a Turian.
Well, we've seen a female Turian, but having one on the squad would be cool. We technically had a squad mate for a DLC, but that doesn't count. Having maybe a female Vorcha.
I don't know if are there female Vorcha?
I don't.
I just assume they're the same. I mean,
do they asexually reproduce? Like grasshoppers, you can't tell.
Yeah.
God, just imagine them breastfeeding with those teeth.
I'm not going to do that.
I'm not going to imagine that, Tugger.
Actually, the Vorcha in their lore, it's all about the way they learn is by biting each other, because that creates cell memory or something like that. That's literally how they learn stuff.
Hey guys, today I learned the alphabet. I learned it from suckling from my mother's teeth.
Ew.
That's creepy. Okay, we're gonna move on.
So I did Control F. I did Control F on the Vorka lore page, and there are 0 results for female. There are 0 results for female Vorcha. So
yeah, but for a while there, they didn't have multiple genders for almost every single species in the Milky Way universe.
It was a galactic sausage party.
It was. There were no female Krogan, no female Turians, no female Solarians.
Wait, wasn't the Council Solarian female, though?
No, the one was a male.
First one was a dude, which is unusual because the lore suggests that it should not be a dude, but it was a dude at first.
Because I thought the ones that had the hood kind of things were the females.
No, the females have a distinctive voice.
Okay.
And they're a lot meaner. Like all the female Solarians in there are really mean. There's one in the books that's actually kind of nice, but the rest of them are just mean.
So, do you want a friendly female Solarian squad mate that kicks butt?
That'd be neat.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't fit culturally, but that'd be neat. Whatever. You can change up the lore to make an awesome character or game. I'm totally cool with that.
I'm trying to think what race I'd like, because I have. I love Krogan, but I feel like Krogan is too safe of a bet. I'd love a female Krogan.
Well, Krogan we know is
Female
happening.
Krogan, squad mate, badass combat. Do it.
Which would mean two Krogans on your squad.
The more Krogan, the better. The more Krogan, the better, man.
What about a male Quarian?
Male Quarian.
That'd be okay.
Male Quarian, female Turian. You can just switch it up a little bit. The Quarians seem like everyone can get stuff done. So I would be down with that.
Though the thing I want most for squad mate, aside from appearance, like in terms of personality, I want a squad mate who is completely sarcastic like 90% of the time. Like I want a totally humorous squad mate that just takes the shit out of everything and just makes jokes all the time. Think of like a slightly mature Sarah from Dragon Age. Like kind of like that.
It's impossible not to be much more mature than Sarah from Dragon Age, right? There's like no way you can't do that.
You can't really go below. Like think of like a Sarah Varric hybrid. Maybe throw some Joker in there. You know,
like a character who's really, really enjoying what they're doing and they're just having a lot of fun with it.
Or they're just like totally sarcastic. Like when hits the fan, they're like, "Oh, well, that's great." Like just
what about a sarcastic Elcor?
Can Elcors express?
No, it'd just be sarcastically every single time.
I would be okay with that for a scene, but for the whole game, I think I'd be kind of pretty let down. But for one scene, that would be amazing. For one scene.
I don't think it would come off. Okay, here's some more interesting questions. What about new aliens? We mentioned we don't know what kind of new aliens, but do you think we'll see aliens originating from the Andromeda Galaxy joining up with Ryder and the squad?
Oh, definitely.
Isn't that semi-confirmed? That's like really strongly semi-confirmed, isn't it?
Where are you getting your confirmation from?
San Diego Comic-Con, like 2015, 14, one of those.
Well, I mean, there's no way that they're going to introduce all of these races and not have a few of them be with you.
Yeah, there's no way they're going to introduce all these, exactly what Tucker said.
I think it would be pretty easy to pick up an Andromeda squad mate just because you're going to be going around. You might come into not necessarily a mercenary, but somebody who's fallen on some misfortune and looking to make life better for themselves or make life better for their people, and they see a new coalition coming in and doing good, and they would join up. I don't think it would be difficult at all for an Andromeda squad mate to join in.
Assuming the races are somehow tied to the plot, the new races are tied to the plot, it would be pretty easy to stick a race on the squad that's new.
How many squad mates will be new?
So if we're thinking 7, then I'm going to go with 3. Yeah. If we're thinking 7.
So you keep in mind there, we've got 3 taken already. So 3 with new aliens, that leaves 1 left for your Volus, Quarian, Batarian, no Turians then.
Okay, let's break
no Solarians.
So where are we getting the 7 from, by the way? Is that just a likely
That's in
number?
the big Reddit leak. They said 7 squad mates.
Okay, well that can be subject to change.
I agree with that.
If we're gonna go, 7's probably safe. So let's go with that for hypothetical discussion. So to break it down, you have to have at least 1 female human and 1 male human, and then we have probably the Asari, at least 1 Krogan. That's 4 already. So then 3 new.
I think it's going to be 1 or 2 new at most.
Okay, let's go with 2 new, and then you have 1
2
left.
at most.
I'm making lots of hand gestures that no one can see. You have 1 left for, like, maybe Turian.
And you're probably not going to like me saying this, but they could have a lot of the squad mates being races that we know, and then, future DLC bring in new races.
Yeah.
They've had tons of companion DLCs for Mass Effect, but I think...
Yeah. I know people don't like the DLC kind of thing, but...
Whoa, major flashback. Okay. So back in, early Dragon Age Inquisition development, they revealed that Frostbite, I don't know if it will change with it being all next gen, but they said that with Frostbite, it was really difficult to put in a companion as a DLC item. Like a new companion as DLC in Frostbite. Way back
Really?
Inquisition, early Inquisition
Really?
development. Yeah, they
You
said
think
that
they could get over that now?
Well, I mean,
That's-
the thing is, they were trying to do both last gen and next gen with Inquisition, so I don't know if it's changed. But when they were making Inquisition, I forget which developer said this is early Inquisition days, major flashback. But they said that with the way that Frostbite worked, it was difficult to get a squad mate as a DLC.
So here's something else to throw in with this squad mate thing. Ryder, your main character, has a family. What if a Ryder sibling was on your squad?
I could easily see that.
That could make a lot of sense. In fact,
If they're
see
not
that.
on your squad, though, it might be trying to think of an equivalent. Think of when Caden or Ashley are in the hospital. You go visit them and have important conversations with them while they're not on your squad. I think it could be like that. If they're not on your squad, then you still they're tied to the story somehow.
yeah, well, I'm thinking it could really easily go, there are a pair of siblings. There's a Ryder brother, there's a Ryder sister. You pick one. The other one plays some kind of role in the game, possibly on your squad.
Do you think it'll be a Bethany Carver situation, depending on...
I hope it's a lot better than that, but...
I can't wait for the weird romance options for that.
Oh, don't.
But you have to,
Putting that thought in your head.
at minimum, you have to have a romanceable male human and a romanceable female human, and then the rest are fair game.
Why is that, by the
Why?
way?
Just because. That's just they kind of have to put in a human romance option, because not everyone wants to romance aliens. But a lot of people do like to romance
Was there a
aliens.
female romance option in Mass Effect 3?
Ashley was human.
But was she romanceable in
yeah.
Mass Effect 3?
Yeah, in Mass Effect 3, if you start Mass
Oh
Effect
yeah,
3...
that's right.
you
I
haven't-
was thinking of Mass Effect 2 for some reason, where
You could even pick it up.
There's also technically Diana Allers is romanceable.
those aren't romances. Those are more one-time calls things.
You can chat with Kelly again.
You can.
She keeps your
Kelly,
fish.
I was trying to shake your hand. I have no idea how we ended up in your bedroom.
She keeps your fish safe while on the run from Cerberus. So, props to her.
Here's another idea that, and I'm going to steal someone's idea, and now I have to go find in the comments section who first said this first, but 7 squad mates. Traditionally in Mass Effect, there are 6 different classes, and something that BioWare has done even as recently as Inquisition. 1 class per character. So in Inquisition, you can be mage, rogue, warrior, and then they all have 3 subclasses, and then you have 9, what they're called companions, right, in Dragon Age?
Well, they had 3 of each major class.
Exactly.
And then each of them had a specialization or a different... Well, you could change the weapon type, so that didn't really matter. But each one had their own specialization.
So, for instance,
Which
in
is just
this
an extra
game,
tree, basically.
It could be you get your Vanguard, your Adept, your Engineer, your Sentinel, and then the 7th would be your brother or sister.
I'm going to think it's probably maybe 8. I want to say it's 8.
We're just going to add one just because.
Maybe it's 7, not including siblings.
Here's
Maybe
a more general question. Is 7 enough?
I feel like 7's fine. Mass Effect 3's number was fine because they had so many extra characters. Mass Effect 2's was a little bit overboard.
Yeah.
So maybe
there's some people I've never used as squad mates in Mass Effect 2 just because there's so many of them, and
it's hard to use all of them a lot. I'd say maybe 7 to 9. 7 to 9 is a good number.
Okay. I'm okay with 7, but I would like for more squad mates to be added with DLC.
If possible.
I think they need to figure that out. If they can't figure that out, then we got problems with Frostbite.
They had a lot of problems with Frostbite to begin with, and they figured it out. So, we'll see. We'll see.
Is there anything I should know?
You have unread messages at your private terminal.
What's up,
Tucker?
Kelly? What's up?
I'm not Kelly. I'm sorry.
You're not, but yeah, Kelly told us that you have messages.
All right. Let's see. So the first question that we got here that I want to get into is from Echo Cobra. And he says, what do you think the romances would be like? And do you think that we, as writer, can be with anyone? And how far are you able to take these relationships? That second part is what really fascinates me about this question. So how far do you think you'll be able to take these relationships? And I'm really hoping that, because with all the romances we've seen in the Mass Effect games, I'm really hoping that we can, like, maybe you try to romance a person, then in the middle of the game you have the romance scene, and then you can continue the romance throughout the rest of the game.
So looking at Inquisition in terms of availability, they try and have at least 2 options for every every gender preference. So there will be probably like bisexual romance options, homosexual romance options, and heterosexual romance options, but there will be like heterosexual male, heterosexual female. You'll have at least, no matter which gender sexuality combo you will have more than one option at least.
Yeah, I'd like to see at least 3 in each of those categories.
That'd be nice, but they try and go for at least, like, bare minimum, at least everyone has more than one option.
But you're talking about going the distance, so I was trying to think of exactly what that would mean, and I was thinking, like, would you be talking about, like, adding marriage or something into the game?
Maybe something like that. There was a later part in the question where you said about having a kid, but I think that would be, I don't think that's an option at all.
Unless Andromeda spans, like, 10 years, I don't think, or like you have the baby at the very end.
Well, I mean, because think about it, if you're playing as the female rider,
they just wouldn't show the pregnancy. They would show the birth.
I'm just thinking, like, okay, so you're pregnant, then how are you going to go and fight these people if you're pregnant?
It would probably happen like towards the end, maybe, because I don't think they'd have you fighting pregnant.
So I'm just thinking that would damage the. I mean, this is getting me thinking realistic, that would really damage a baby.
Here's a more...
It would be at risk anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Like a more realistic question. How many video games has successfully done kids?
What do you mean? Like,
I mean,
main
a
characters
kid in a video game. What's the most famous kid in the Mass Effect universe?
The Star Child.
Okay, how did that go? How did that go?
He wasn't genetically related to us, but Fable, you could have like as many kids as you wanted, but they weren't that important. In Dragon Age, you can have a baby with Morgan, and then that baby's pretty important later on.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, you can have at the end of Dragon Age Origins, you have to do this kind of spell ceremony thing, because when a Grey Warden slays an Archdemon, that Grey Warden dies, but Morgan has this alternative solutions ritual kind of thing where either the male Warden, Alistair, or Loghain can impregnate Morgan, and then somehow the Archdemon's like essence goes into the baby, and because it's a baby, it doesn't die for some reason, and so Alistair, Loghain, Warden, or male Warden won't die.
Well, again,
and then
like
Kieran the kid appears in Inquisition.
I love how creepy / complicated that is.
It's. I gave you the less complicated version, okay?
No, I know the story. It's just creepy / complicated.
And here's the thing to think about with that, though, is because that's specifically with a squad mate or companion. That's not the character you're playing as.
I think they would. The thing is, I think they would, in terms of avoiding controversial content like that, I think they would just have it to where if you were pregnant, it'd be something after the final battle, and you have like shore leave or time off from combat, and you have the baby, and then the baby's like in the closing scenes or something.
I'm going to just go ahead and try to veto the kid idea.
Yeah, I'm vetoing it
see
too.
it.
I mean, that's what I would go with too, because it would be too complicated.
The only way I'd be okay with that is if you take your romance option from the first game, and then in the second game, suddenly there's a kid. Although I still wouldn't really be for that, but that'd be the only way I could see the kid thing working, is that if it would carry over to the next game.
I'm totally fine with the kid thing, because I assume if they do the kid thing, it would somehow have to work. So it would.
Kids in video games, wow.
I'm okay with it.
I don't know.
But
okay, that's what I'm saying, like suggestions of where it's done well.
The thing, though,
I'm still kind of waiting to hear that answer.
The thing, though, is if Ryder is the protagonist,
what about BioShock?
If Ryder is the protagonist continuing forward, the romance options will be of different races. So I don't know, you would maybe only be able to have the child with an Asari or a human.
Yeah, there is no like hybrid breeding in Mass Effect.
Or if there were more, like, new races, but you'd have to create different model scenarios and a lot of different dialogues. It'd get really complicated really fast.
I think we could leave the kids out of it.
Yeah, let's leave the kids out of it.
Back to the original question as far as not necessarily hitting the climactic moment of your relationship right before the final mission. Doing that earlier and then taking your relationship somewhere from there. I really like that idea.
Yeah,
I'd like to see them try to do that.
We were able to marry certain romance options in Dragon Age Inquisition's Trespasser DLC, so I guess they're open to the marriage thing, but it's probably more of a like conclusion-y kind of situation.
All right, next question is from Finn Vajgen. Really don't know how to pronounce that. I think he said he's from Sweden. But he asks, what about mod support on the game like Skyrim or Fallout 4? Which, if I remember hearing correctly, I think that modding support's now on Xbox.
Yeah, I've done Fallout 4 mods on Xbox One.
So how would you feel about that stuff in Mass Effect Andromeda?
Oh, I would love it. I just don't expect it to happen.
Can I share with you a mod dream that I had that I want to see?
Sure. Do it.
I want to see somebody mod multiplayer and try to see if competitive multiplayer works. Don't want BioWare to do it. I just want someone to say, okay, now we can have a competitive multiplayer match. One of the modders tries it. Does that work? I don't think it does, but I want to see someone try it.
Think Adepts would win.
Would they?
Well, yeah, because of the biotics.
Well, I mean, that's how would the biotics work? I don't want to sidetrack the question first. I just wanted to put that out as a
right.
Something I'm curious to seeing. You get into the whole thing of crowd control in Mass Effect, so you hit some dude with a singularity, and then you're stuck floating in the air for 5 seconds, and that's really boring for gameplay. But just want to see that happening. I would love to see mod support, period.
I think with another good thing for mods is BioWare doesn't exactly have the best history with hair options in the character creator, so there's a lot of hair mods for BioWare games, so that would be something that would be nice to see for modding, at least, is allowing like simple like texture and hair mods.
You know Batman's going to end up in Mass Effect if the mod thing works, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I would totally be fine with that.
I have a video about like what squadmates we would love to see in a Mass Effect game, and I'm pretty sure those would all become mods.
Like you would get a Liara mod and like a Tali mod,
those would come back
immediately. Yeah.
All right.
Do you know enough about which companies let mods even happen and what it takes to mod games? Come on, dude, you're in the video game field. You're like studying the stuff.
But
you're supposed to have
really
the answers.
Mod-friendly. Like Bethesda really likes modders.
Yeah.
I mean, the Bethesda team is extremely open about modding, and to be honest, that's what's really keeping Skyrim and those kind of games alive is the modding community. And I know that some games are they don't like modding, like Rockstar.
Although Rockstar opened it up a little bit.
They opened up their code, but
BioWare doesn't talk about it much, and the only times I remember them talking about it were like David Gator said he didn't like looking at mods. So So I would say either they don't want to have mod support or they're indifferent about it.
Quite possibly this could be up to EA. Do we know of any EA games that are moddable?
I mean, since it's such a big decision, they'd probably have to run it by EA, I assume.
Having mod support? Well, yeah, that definitely had to be something you'd run by EA.
Because it would be a marketable feature. It'd be a marketable feature, so they would probably have to run it by EA first.
Is Battlefield, any of the Battlefields moddable? I don't know enough about Battlefield at all.
On private servers, probably, but I'm also thinking Need for Speed or Dead Space.
Dead Space wasn't anywhere near as big as how good it was.
No, but I'm just trying to think of EA games.
Yeah, I can't think of a game that's, I mean, really the couple games that have, Bethesda games, obviously, they mod like crazy. And people mod GTA, and I don't know anything past that.
Bethesda was the first one to kind of bring down PC as no longer being the master race because you could now mod on consoles. They were the first to bridge that gap.
Yeah, but here's the thing: is how do you get the mods onto the Xbox? You can't mod on your Xbox. You have to have it from your computer and port that to the Xbox.
Yeah, but in terms of just playing the game and playing the game with mods,
that's true.
The PC is no longer the master race in terms of Fallout 4. So I think that would be great if they could bring that in, but I honestly am not I'm not expecting it at all.
Yeah, prediction, you won't be able to mod it. I'd love to see it, but my prediction would be you can't mod it.
Out of 10...
You can mod Mass Effect. You can mod Mass Effect as is right now.
On PC.
Yeah, but you got to crack the code, right? It's not like they opened it up for people.
No, it's not open.
They didn't open it with Inquisition either. On PC, people can kind of figure it out. But to port it to console, they needed the developers to create the method.
All right, next one is from Lars Zimmerman. And this person says, do you think that we will see some already known archetypes for the new characters, such as unapproachable rebel like Jack, the crazy scientist like Morton, lovable brute like Rex or Grunt? Or is BioWare going to try to abandon these and generally create personalities we might not expect to see based on what we are used to?
Mostly new, I think. They do that with all their games. They do new personalities all the time.
Well, I think they're going to follow some archetypes, because it is kind of difficult to...
There's only so many archetypes. So they'll do, similar ones, obviously. I'm trying to think. Rex and Grunt are somewhat similar. They have variants on their personalities, though. Grunt's a little more lighthearted.
That are lovable.
Yeah. Grunt's a little more lighthearted and young and youthful. Versus Rex is a little more hardcore, but they're both broody. So yeah, I mean, they'll probably. There's only so many character archetypes, so obviously there will be comparable personalities and similar personalities. But I think they typically try and go for new as best they can, or whatever fits well with the story. I mean, I don't care if there's a male Quarian with a Jack personality. As long as it's a cool character, I really don't care.
How does that character get his tattoos? How? I can't see that going well.
Maybe he has exosuit stamps.
It'd be like somebody put stickers on his suit, wow, you're a rebel.
Put a little flower sticker.
It just looks like a lower school kindergartner's backpack.
It looks like he got attacked by an entire elementary school with stickers.
I think one of the routes they could go with that is you get a character that starts off looking very familiar, and then you twist it a little bit, where they're putting on a show where the character goes in a somewhat different direction. Let's say we'll use Tally as an example. Tally with the relationship with her father, who does shady stuff because he's a shady dude, because all Quarian admirals are shady.
That's the truth.
And instead of trying to live up to the father, the Quarian would go in the other direction. So it's familiar to a point and then switch. And it doesn't even have to be a Quarian, but that kind of archetype, but take a relationship you're familiar with so you're comfortable and then twist it a little bit. That's what I'd like to see. Also, a lot easier said than done. So good luck, BioWare.
We believe in you.
All right.
They're totally taking all our ideas and then going back in time and applying them.
I give them permission. I have great ideas.
All right, next question is from Talisman Rocky, and he asks, how would you feel about races that are hermaphrodites, or that have the ability to change gender?
Aren't the Asari like semi kind of? They have something different in their biology that they're not totally 100% female.
Yeah, so they're like hermaphrodites.
It's not quite that simple though. It's more complicated than that. But I'm fine with it. Like, there's animals on Earth that are hermaphrodites or that change their gender. Or
I'm
sex,
a little
I should say.
surprised
They
that
change their
more
sex.
aliens aren't hermaphrodites or have no gender, period. I mean, technically the Asari had no gender, but they had boobs and female voices.
They were
So
given a gender.
They were
yeah.
were females, basically, even though they technically weren't. But
Well, I mean, you could say that they had ovaries, because that's
They were
kind of what
they were able to impregnate each other, and they were able to get pregnant.
they can give birth. That's kind of what defines
They
females.
can give birth and they can impregnate, though, so it's complicated. The Asari are just really complicated.
I would actually find that kind of really interesting, having a character or like a race that can change gender. And we find out the lore of this race is that as kids they grow up neutral, and then, once they reach an age, they can go either male or female path.
Well, you have
that is a very socially loaded topic.
Oh yeah,
very socially loaded.
this one
That's got all kinds of stuff attached to it, which I think that's fascinating.
I think that's
but I'm also
fascinating as
wondering
well.
if people will go in, they'll talk about how BioWare is trying to force other people's morals on them or whatever.
Well, yeah, but you want to know what? BioWare is also trying to be creative, and sometimes when you come across those things, you come across them. It's, they're not picking that specifically because this is what people want. They're trying to come up with something new, and again, this game's been in development for how many years? I'm pretty sure that some ideas that they may have had that are happening right now, that it's coincidental that what's coming out right now relates to things that are going on.
I'm totally fine with them blurring a gender line with a race. I'm totally down with that. If they don't, I'm still totally fine. But if you look at, for example, clownfish, if their mate dies, they'll sometimes change their biological sex. So there's different kind of biological things that can occur that they could use as inspiration.
I think it could be really interesting. I just wanted to bring that up as a counterpoint, but I don't think they should worry about perceptions of what they're doing. Just do...
Well, with this topic anyway, I think they should worry about perceptions with the story quality for sure.
Story quality, but basically forget the other stuff. Make the best story possible.
Just make the game amazing
that's
and just do it.
That's your primary goal. Don't worry about what people think. Don't add stuff that doesn't need to be there. Just make a good story.
Just make it amazing. That's all we need.
All right, and this question is from Jacob Grunewald, and this person asks, what would you think of having a pet, like a Varen, that would follow you around on hub worlds? And it could help you intimidate people, or maybe can give you armor or give you ammo while you're in battle.
Can I have a pet Elcor? That is my only question.
Here's the one problem. I think that's adorable, but isn't there going to be jetpack jumping mechanics? So you're...
Maybe not on a hub world. If you're on
your Varen would need a jetpack.
If you're,
which is also awesome, but Elcor with how big is the jetpack on that Elcor?
That would have to be probably
Like
the
a full-on
size of your
Isocord.
Mako. It would have to be a Mako-sized jetpack. It would have a jetpack hoverboard thing. That's what I think.
I just think that'd be pretty cool to have some kind of instead of having a companion, you bring along your pet, kind of like Fallout 4. You can pick a person or you can have dog meat.
I'd rather have it to where the pet comes with you along with the squad mates, because then that cuts out the chances for squad banter.
Yeah,
Well,
I
it could
think
talk
the
to you
focus
about
is on
that.
squad mates.
Like,
some
I'd rather
some
the
games
pet
do pets really well, and some games don't.
I'd rather the pet not be combat related, and it would come along. Like, say if we had the Andromeda equivalent of Ilium. Like, you don't have combat in the main Ilium map. You can go off to different areas that have loading screens and change. So if it was something like that in Andromeda, and your pet kind of comes with you, I'd be down for that. So long as the squad mates come too.
That would be more aesthetic, though, and would not give you bonuses.
I'd rather they
Unless it's
focus on the
bonuses to
story than us
persuasion.
having a pet.
If you had like a space hamster on a string, you could get a discount at stores.
You have like as a necklace.
Poor space hamster. Like,
Now I want that in the game. Dang it. All right. The list of stuff I want in the game is getting too big.
Okay, this one is from Raven Wolf, and this person asks, if you were a commander like Commander Shepard, and you had the option to pick every character within the Mass Effect universe except for the Reapers and gather a team, what characters would you pick as your team?
can we put a number on this? Because this is kind of...
Yeah, it needs a number.
Like 5.
5.
Let's go with 5.
Yeah.
I was going to say 3.
Let's go with
5's
3.
going to take a while.
Let's go with 3.
You get 3 squad mates to bring with you in a fight. You get a 4-man fire team.
Yeah, you're gathering a team.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Arya to Loke.
Yeah, that's
as
what I was
one of
going to
them.
say, is Arya. Just because then
Arya
you have
to
Omega then behind you.
And Arya is just badass with that biotic flare. Yes. It's my favorite ability, just by the way. Big explosion of biotics. It's great. Who else?
I like Anderson.
Really?
Yeah, Anderson?
I assume
He
he's
never
good with the
kicks
gun.
ass.
He's made it pretty
Yeah.
far in rank.
And I mean,
yeah.
He doesn't even kick ass in the book he's in.
but also think that
I mean, he kind of does.
he was
but-
the first human Spectre, so he had to be given that for a reason.
Wow, he didn't make Spectre status. Spectre status not recognized. He failed. Yeah, Saren sabotaged him.
If we're going for combat skill variety, then Arya would be my badass biotic. I could go with maybe Tally or Morden as like the techie one, or Edie. Edie would be fun. I like Edie. So I'm gonna go Arya, Edie, and then Caden maybe, because I like Caden. Or Rex. There's my 3.
You don't have a Krogan. Yeah, you gotta
I gotta have a Krogan in there, so I'll go Arya, Edie.
Are you
Rex.
going into a fight?
Yeah.
It's like you're picking a lineup for a sporting event.
Yeah, so I got my badass biotic with Arya, got my techie expert with Edie, and I've got my super soldier with Rex.
I would like to see some more Spectres in action, because I feel like you could put together a roster full of Spectres and then do something really badass, like Tandem Bow, Taylor Vasir, although she turned out to be a little
Blasto.
nasty, but
What about having him?
I was not
Yes.
going to mention Blasto, but
Yes.
yeah, Blasto and his Elcor sidekick.
I got a weird one here, just because how we were talking about brains. I was trying to remember his name. What about David from Overlord? Because wasn't he supposed to be incredibly smart?
Yeah,
Is he good in a fight though?
Well, I mean, I'm talking about like brains. Like I'm talking like he could come up with something technological wise.
While we're being fired on, please perform this mathematical equation to figure out how we can be more effective in combat.
You got to get into battle. So because he's like a mathematical savant, he could come up with a strategy.
yeah, but once you're in that battle, it's going to be loud. And last time things were loud, he destroyed an entire base because he went crazy.
Yes.
I don't know if I want David.
I
I want David on my, like, if I'm putting together a roster and you got your soldiers that are going to battle and the support staff going back, I think he'd be a great first support staff.
If I needed a
Working
researcher,
analytically.
sure.
If under fire, though, I'd be a little nervous about that.
or what about the elusive man?
Is he good in a fight though?
I mean, is he? I don't think he's good in the fight, but I'm thinking like if you have resources.
I think he was.
I wouldn't have him on my like fighting squad, but as like an asset maybe. But I don't know. He has too many agendas. He has too many agendas for me to trust him.
You're thinking like more overall strategy type thing. We were just talking about like going into a fight.
Well,
yeah,
I
I
mean,
thought we were talking about fighting.
Sun Tzu said that
Because that broadens out the question
Isn't
significantly.
there a quote from Sun Tzu saying the best battle is one that you've, or something like winning a battle before it is won is the best way to guarantee victory?
I thought that it was implied that there was violence going to be involved. So
I thought the best way to win a fight was to bring a Krogan.
yeah, I thought we were.
And
I thought putting Rex on my squad guaranteed victory right then and there. But okay.
I don't
Hold
think
on,
there
I'm
were
looking this
Krogan
up.
in ancient China. Tucker, you've done some human history stuff. How many Krogan were in ancient China?
None.
Okay. So how the hell could he know? What are we looking up, by the way?
I'm looking up a Sun Tzu quote. It is something like, victorious warriors win first and then go to war, while defeated warriors go to war first and then seek to win. So I'm trying to go with the strategy point.
So bring a Krogan and you just win. Period.
I'm trying to think. Well, I mean, think about this.
You're making the question more complicated than we were initially
Oh,
thinking.
okay, no. Here's the thing. Like, the Krogans, how they would go into battle. Well, okay, the genophage. See, they came up with a disease, and then they placed it on
We're
them.
thinking
strategy,
about
and
three-
then they fought them.
We're thinking about 4-on-4. Who are you bringing into the fight?
Oh, okay, no. So I would bring
It's just like a fight, like no pregame. You turn around.
No pregame.
It's
you
like
turn
a
around.
Western drawl. You take 5 steps, turn around, and fight.
really, because what I was thinking is like you're going to fight and then you're going to fight them. So I would bring 2 badass people and then like whoever the character would be. So I'm guessing Shepard. Let's say it's Shepard and then 2 squad mates, and then I'd have one be the tactical one that would come up with the plan beforehand, who would try to get something.
Okay, you're going way overboard with this.
There's also another military quote. Pretty much, no battle plan survives first contact with the enemy.
There you go. Okay, so imagine it's the combat. It's like the mission loading screen, and you have unlimited options for 3 squad mates to bring with you. No one's off limits except for the Reapers. Who do you pick? There you go.
I would still go with Arya and Anderson.
Okay, then who's your third? Pick a Krogan.
No, I'm not going to pick a Krogan.
Your team's gonna get crushed. Your team's gonna get crushed,
What about-
Tucker. No Krogan.
What about,
It's over. Doesn't matter who you pick now.
No, I'm
I
not
swap out Edie for Eve because you can have 2 Krogan. That's still fun.
What about Nihilus?
Nihilus. He'd be on my Spectre squad. Although I need a Krogan, and I don't think there's been a Krogan
I don't
Spectre.
think that you need again. If it's just one Krogan, I don't think it would do much.
In the comment section, if you have a team of 4 and you don't have a Krogan, and the other team has a team of 4 and they have a Krogan, how badly will you lose? Vegas odds, go. Put down the Vegas odds in the comment section.
Okay, so Minius, who's on your team?
I'm going to go with the Spectre squad. I'm probably just going to pick Grunt because it needs a Krogan. We've already established this. Well-known fact. Then I'll go with Taylor Vasir and Tandem Bao because I picture him being awesome.
Okay,
I
so
can't
you've
wait
got
for
those
you to
3.
edit this around so I just sound terrible.
No, I'm going to leave all this in. You're going to sound terrible with your own words.
you're
I don't need to
just
do
gonna-
anything.
You've dug your grave. You're just gonna. Now you get to lie in it.
No, I
All
am
right.
sure. Like you
We're-
can pick a squad and they could be tactical, especially if
Tucker,
it's just 4 people.
Your
They can get
squad
tactical.
is already dead.
You were thinking too long and we crushed you, dude.
Tucker, your squad is already dead.
All right, we should start wrapping this up.
yeah.
Okay.
That's all the nerdiness we've got for today. Join us next week as we talk about exploring in Andromeda with the Tempest and the Mako and the Jetpack and such. If you have any questions for us, Mass Effect related or otherwise, feel free to email us at andromenerds@gmail.com, and your questions may be featured in an upcoming episode. Along with our co-hosts, be sure to follow Andromenerds on Twitter. If you like this podcast and would like to see some more awesome videos, be sure to check out and subscribe to our respective channels. So Andromeda.
I think we should change the name of our podcast to the Ayala. That was great.
If you'd like to be a part of the show,
You should put
all
it in
right.
the
Wow,
blurb.
this stuff's gonna get chopped up now.